The sun sank low over New York City, painting the skyline with hues of amber and gold, casting a warm, nostalgic glow over the streets below. Inside a bustling, trendy restaurant, the atmosphere buzzed with energy. Laughter, clinking glasses, and the hum of conversation filled the air. Yet at one table, something more intense was unfolding. Chrissy Lampkin sat across from Jim Jones, her expression a mixture of determination and frustration. The couple had weathered their fair share of ups and downs, but tonight felt different. Heavy, as if an unspoken storm was brewing beneath the surface. A shadow hung over their conversation, one that had been looming for weeks, months even. The tension between Chrissy and Jim's mother had finally reached its boiling point, and Chrissy couldn't keep pretending everything was fine anymore. "Jim, we need to talk about your mom," Chrissy began, her voice calm, though every word carried a weight of emotion. Her eyes met his, her gaze unwavering. "I can't keep pretending everything's fine when she disrespects me at every turn." Her words were sharp, yet vulnerable, the frustration and hurt spilling over. Jim sighed deeply, rubbing the back of his neck, clearly torn. "I know, but she's my mother. You have to understand where she's coming from." He sounded more defensive than understanding, as if offering an explanation to shield the tension between them. Chrissy leaned forward, her eyes blazing with resolve. "It's not just your mother, Jim. It's how she treats me. You can't keep making excuses for her." The words rang out, each one carrying the force of unspoken pain that had been building up for far too long. Just as the air around them thickened, Jim's phone buzzed on the table. He glanced down at the screen and immediately stiffened. It was a message from his mother, a barrage of words that sent a cold shiver down his spine. His face hardened as he read it aloud, his voice tinged with disbelief. "I can't believe this. She's texting me right now, saying you're causing drama in our family." Chrissy's frustration flared, her voice rising above the murmur of nearby conversations. "Drama? All I'm trying to do is be a part of your life, Jim. But your mom won't let me. She won't respect me." Her words echoed through the restaurant, drawing stares from nearby tables. Jim's temper ignited, his voice rising with his anger. "You're always at her throat, Chrissy. Maybe if you just tried to understand her, things would be different." Before Chrissy could respond, a figure appeared at the edge of their table, Jim's mother. Her eyes blazed with indignation, her voice cutting through the tension like a knife. "I've had enough of your disrespect, Chrissy. You think you can just waltz in here and take my son away from me?" Her words were venomous, and the table seemed to shrink as the weight of her presence bore down on them. In an instant, the situation escalated. Chrissy's eyes flared, a mix of anger and defiance taking over. "I'm not trying to take him from you, but you need to respect me," she shot back, her voice low but unwavering. Jim stood up, attempting to intervene, but Chrissy's words hung in the air like a challenge, an unspoken test of loyalty and love. "You're going to let her talk to me like that?" Jim's face twisted in conflict as he felt the pull of loyalty to his mother, but his love for Chrissy was undeniable. His heart raced as he tried to navigate the storm that was tearing him apart. "Mom, please," he started, his voice pleading, but Chrissy had had enough. In a surge of emotion, Chrissy stood up from the table, her anger radiating off her like heat from a fire. "This is why we can't work, Jim. You let her dictate everything in our relationship." Jim's frustration reached its peak. His mind raced, unable to reconcile his love for Chrissy and the loyalty to his mother. In a moment of heated impulse, he moved to block Chrissy's path. His hand rose, connecting with her cheek in a slap that rang through the entire restaurant, sending a shockwave of silence through the air. The decision loomed before him. Would he fight for Chrissy, the woman who had stood by his side despite everything? Or would he let the tides of family loyalty swallow their love whole? Jim's heart raced as he realized this was a turning point, a crossroads in his life. Everything was about to change. At the Deuce-a-Palooza event at the Barclays Center on December 13, 2019 in New York City, Chrissy Lampkin had a moment of clarity, one that would mark a turning point in her relationship with Jim Jones. This was no ordinary night, and the weight of what was about to unfold hung thick in the air. By 2021, after being together for 18 years, Chrissy had had enough. Despite their long-standing relationship, she wasn't ready to take the leap into marriage. It wasn't that she didn't love Jim, far from it. But as she candidly shared during VH1's third season of Family Reunion, Love and Hip Hop Edition, she was tired of waiting for a commitment that seemed to keep slipping further away. When Jim proposed the idea of finally tying the knot, Chrissy's response stunned everyone. She said no. "You want me to be this loving, crazy cook, this and that," she told him, her voice steady but filled with the raw emotion of years spent in the shadows of uncertainty. "But you come home, and you're mean, cold, and distant." It was a moment that encapsulated everything that had been building up over the years. She wasn't just rejecting his proposal. She was rejecting the cycle of emotional neglect that had taken hold of their relationship. The air was thick with tension as the couple exchanged words, each one more loaded than the last. Jim, in his usual way, acknowledged his fears and shortcomings. He had always been the man of his family, focusing on providing and supporting, yet the idea of fully committing to Chrissy seemed like a step into the unknown. "I don't want you to think I'm selfish," he said, his voice tinged with regret, "because I love you more than I could love anything in this world." But love, as Chrissy made clear, wasn't enough. At some point, it has to stop. The words hung in the air, a reminder that there comes a time when love has to evolve from promises to actions. For Chrissy, the constant waiting and the fear of never fully being seen was no longer something she was willing to endure. Their relationship, though complex, had been a cornerstone of love and hip-hop since they began dating in 2004. Through the years, they've faced every kind of obstacle imaginable. Chrissy has openly discussed the struggles they've weathered, and in 2016, she revealed why they had remained in a long-term engagement despite the years passing by. "What's the point of marrying before one of us is truly ready?" she questioned. "I don't want to go through a divorce over that. People move at their own pace, and I'm here because I've made this decision." One of the most memorable episodes depicted Chrissy making a bold move, leaving Jim behind in New York to relocate to Miami. Fans viewed this as a pivotal moment in their relationship, a defining act that left many wondering if Jim would lose. Chrissy for good. Sensing the gravity of the situation, Jim took a leap of faith, proposing to her in Miami, hoping it would make up for the years of hesitation. Despite his grand gesture, Chrissy chose not to marry him, leaving fans wondering about the future of their relationship. Her recent social media posts, however, have given a glimpse into the frustration that has been building up over time. Chrissy's desire to engage and show her dedication has been evident, but her patience seems to be wearing thin. The questions around her commitment to Jim and the uncertainty of their future have only intensified in the face of growing rumors and speculation. It's clear that Chrissy is reaching a breaking point, and whether or not Jim will be able to step up and finally meet her where she needs him to remains uncertain. Chrissy is at a crossroads, quietly contemplating whether it's time to move on. The unresolved issues that have festered between her and Jim over the years seem to have reached a breaking point. In a recent interview, Chrissy admitted that, while she is content with the current state of their relationship, there's a quiet sense of resignation in her words. "My love life is steady," she said, a soft finality to her tone. "No new disappointments because there wouldn't be any new expectations." This acknowledgement speaks volumes. It's as though she's come to terms with the idea that their love story may not end with the wedding she once imagined. While their relationship has become comfortable and familiar after all these years, it no longer holds the excitement or promise it once did. The comfort of familiarity can be both a source of solace and a reminder of unfulfilled desires. And for Chrissy, it seems to have settled somewhere in between. For nearly 2 decades, Jim and Chrissy's journey together has been far from simple. Their relationship, often thrust into the spotlight, has revealed both tender moments of affection and deep, hidden struggles. The public's gaze has only intensified the challenges they face, with their love playing out on national television, for everyone to see. The tension of a prolonged engagement without the final step of marriage has left many wondering, will it ever happen? Yet, Chrissy's focus has shifted. As she moves through this complex chapter, her priorities have changed. Now, her own happiness and well-being are at the forefront. She's no longer waiting for Jim to meet her halfway. She's determined to forge her own path, whether or not he joins her on it. In the public eye, speculation has run wild. Fans have tried to piece together the puzzle of why they haven't walked down the aisle yet. Some believe it's personal conflict, while others point to a fear of commitment or lingering doubts about their future together. The ambiguity only fuels the fire, keeping the public endlessly intrigued. Recently, Chrissy's cryptic Instagram post added even more fuel to the speculation. "You and I both know you will never ever find someone like me. Still good luck with your attempts. I'll replace you by tomorrow." The message, vague but pointed, had many fans guessing whether it was aimed at Jim. It hinted at unresolved tensions, and possibly suggested that Chrissy is ready to move on from the engagement that has lasted far too long. In a world where expectations often dictate the course of relationships, Chrissy and Jim have chosen a path that's uniquely their own. They're navigating the ups and downs of their bond, not bound by societal norms or the typical markers of success. Instead, they're learning the art of prioritizing their happiness, both individually and together. As they face the challenges that life throws their way, they're also discovering what it means to truly grow, adapt, and support one another, no matter what the future holds. Their journey is far from conventional, and that's what keeps the public captivated. With each new chapter, fans are eager to witness the twists and turns in their relationship, drawn in by the universal themes of love, commitment, and personal growth that resonate deeply with anyone who's ever been in a relationship of their own. Chrissy and Jim's story is a reminder that relationships aren't always about ticking off boxes on some predefined checklist. It's about the moments of transformation, the growth, and the unexpected detours that happen along the way. The crave. More time goes on, the more their evolving relationship invites scrutiny, but it also challenges the audience to reflect on their own experiences.